Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to Philiphaugh for our Premiership Border derby between Selkirk and Kelso. There's only 5 points separating these two teams in the league at present. However, Kelso have the advantage by having a game in hand. Of course, both teams will be looking for the win today, but perhaps more so Selkirk, as Glasgow Hawks are nipping at their heels, only 3 points behind them, and they have 2 games in hand. Here to take you through the afternoon and making his commentary debut, it's Euan Welsh, and he'll be joined by Scott Tomlinson.
Dwayne Patterson for Kelso then gets us underway. Kicking from right to left, attacking the town end of Selkirk, and it is picked up by that man Westlake, who hits up first for Selkirk. It's going to be a very muddy affair, this. Players already muddied up for the warm-up, and Selkirk will now clear the lines, and it's Alderson. Kicks it into the Kelso half, and it's collected by Archie Barber, whose first kick of the day is a little bit skewed, and it does go out on the full. Ian Herd on that far touchline, and a bit of a nervy start there for the Kelso fullback.
Yeah, to be fair, it was a nervous start for the scrum half as well. Hugo Alderson's been playing really well for Selkirk, a good young player, and we're really looking forward to seeing him today again under a different circumstance or conditions.
Okay, use it!
And Bruce McNeil's picked it up at the back of the scrum. Manages to get it away at Frankie Robson just in time. And Frankie Robson's hit up, Andy Tate recycles, comes towards this stand side, and Cammy Thompson hits up. It's recycled by Tate. They're right on this stand touchline. Terry Logan is the next one to have a hit up, and they've worked their way into the Selkirk half. Keith Melbourne has his first real attack of the day, and it's been recycled back to Dwayne Patterson, and his kick doesn't make much ground, but they've won a penalty due to offside. Selkirk were offside there, and Dwayne Patterson's got away when his first kick of the day was a wee bit skewed. Dwayne Patterson just lines this one up. Starts his run up. We'll wait and see what the ARs think. And the flags are up, and it's the first points of the day goes by way of Kelso, and Dwayne Patterson slots his kick, and that'll give him a great confidence boost.
That's an excellent kick, outside the 10-metre line in slippy conditions and underfoot.
Aaron McComb, and his restart goes fairly deep into the Kelso half. They've brought it out with the 22 now, and they'll recycling, work out how to get away up the pitch. It's been turned over by Scott McClyman to Selkirk. The captain's turned it over, and now they can have a bit of an attack from a promising position. It's recycled by Alderson. He manages to give it into Turnbull, and Turnbull hits up and breaks the line of defence. Alderson's recycled again, and this time the pass is fine to Ross Nixon. They've got advantage for the offside, and Finlay Whelans has managed to make another bit of ground. McClyman again, the man who won the turnover, has a hit, but he's been knocked back by Terry Logan. And again, they've got a second advantage, so Selkirk got a bit of free ball here, and they go via the backs, and Anderson has a go, but he's been well brought down. Alderson recycles. That's Westlake. He hits up as they come towards the stand side. Referee tells him to release, and Selkirk go again. They've got the advantage. Alderson comes towards the stand side. Westlake again, but he's well brought down by Melbourne, or the referee's brought him back for the earlier penalty, and a nice opportunity there for Selkirk to win that turnover and then get up the pitch.
Yeah, it was a great turnover, McClyman. What was really impressive was Hugo Alderson's his length of pass for scrum half under the conditions was really good. If that continues, then that will give Selkirk a lot of space in that back division. Really impressed with Kelso's defence. Terry Logan there made a huge hit in there and knocked the Selkirk player back. So listen, there's no love lost, is there? You can see that straight away with the big hits that's gone in.
Well, given the positioning of the penalty there, they've decided to kick the touch, and Adam McComb put a kick into that far corner from where we are at the front of the stand, and it's an opportunity now for Selkirk to score from 5 metres out, which is where you would think most of the tries, if there is any, going to be scored from, would be today. And that's Zwarzak, the Polish international, who collects and hits up, and Selkirk have the opportunity now from 2 or 3 metres out to get over the line, and forwards are going to hit up themselves and pick and go, and it's recycled. Selkirk will have another go here, just a metre or two short, but the penalty has went by way of Selkirk, so they'll get another go at it. And if that's what you think is going to happen today, when they get into their position, Scott, it's going to be pick and goes. Yeah,
but again, the detail was wrong. That it was an overthrow in the line out there, and Selkirk done well to retain the possession, and then just the pick and goes. But for that detail, and that's be right off the line at phase ball, and that'll give them the opportunity and a good platform to drive over.
Alderson puts the ball in for Selkirk, 3 or 4 metres short. They've managed to get it towards and they go the blind side, and Westlake goes himself. He's managed to get some support there, and McClymonds was one of them who was straight over that ball, battling with Bruce McNeil. And Selkirk try and recycle this ball, and Kelso are causing them problems. Some hands in from Kelso there, and it's Kelso who have managed to win the turnover penalty, and Selkirk will be disappointed with that, Scott.
There's a real hunger and desire for the Kelso team there, isn't there? Your McNeils and your Cammy Browns of the world are just causing absolute mayhem in there, and that's about just looking after that ball and making sure that detail's right. I can't emphasise that enough. In a day where conditions are terrible, you need to get it right there. And scrum was under pressure there at Selkirk. The line out was 2 overthrows and the bounce now. So fair play to Kelso, they're putting them under pressure, and that's exactly what to be expected. But you can see that energy for Kelso there, the wanting and desires there. So, long may it continue. It'll be a cracking game today.
Yeah, a bit of a wasted opportunity there for Selkirk, and it's allowed Dwayne Patterson to clear his team's lines. And James Glendinning, the Kelso hooker, has the opportunity to throw in from the line out just outside the 22, and they've managed to, again, a bit of messy for the line out, but it has been regathered by Kelso, and Frankie Robson was able to hit up, and they'll have a couple of phases through the forwards here. And that was Grant Shields who took the opportunity to, again, just outside the 22, hit up, and now there's a kick from Murray Hastie just to try and clear the lines, but it's no went miles, and now Selkirk have an opportunity inside the Kelso half, but again it's been spilled a few times, and it's the veteran Ross Nixon who's going to have to try and clear his sides lines and get a bit of composure, and it's managed to be recycled to the hands of Callum Turnbull. Alderson bang on halfway, manages to recycle that and gives it to Schwarzak, and he's managed to offload it to get another hit up from the Selkirk forwards. It's a brilliant line ran there, and Pickles is through. Pickles managed to break the line of defence, and Pickles is still brushing off a few defenders, but then gets brought down, although they have won the advantage for the high tackle. So Selkirk playing with advantage as it comes by way of Macomb. Macomb gives it to Josh Welsh, and they put a wee kick in there just to see if it works with advantage. It doesn't work, and they'll come back for the penalty, but again Selkirk will now have an opportunity for points, Scott.
Yeah, a fantastic line by Ben Pickles there, isn't it? And this is what's been happening the last few weeks when he's been playing centre. He was late into the season this year. He played on the wing to begin with, and then once he got his fitness up, he started playing at outside centre. And he looks a real threat when he runs those lovely angles around him. When you've got clever players like Nixon and Macomb putting you through those holes there, he becomes a very dangerous play. And what I would like to have seen is a wee bit link-up play there as well. Making sure that when you do make that break, there's potential players supporting either side of Ben Pickles' shoulder.
They're going to go for the points here, Selkirk, and it's Alderson who's lining this one up. As I mentioned, he has struck 3 penalties and 10 conversions so far, but he's missed this one. It was managed, and it's a bit scrappy again, and Kelso trying regather that one. It was a bit of a mess there, Scott.
I was just about to say that this lad's hardly missed a kick all season since he came to Selkirk. He's been a cracking signing for Selkirk, and he's got a really, really good boot in him. But wow, can you miss a penalty in front of the post?
Well, that was something you weren't expecting to see today, for sure.
And I think Terry Mr. knocked it on as well, so it'll be a Selkirk scrum.
Great host of backs lined up to attack this one, and Alderson feeds the scrum. A big push by Kelso knocks him back a little, and Andy Tate's managed to get a foot in there that's kicked the ball out of the opportunity there, and Anderson's back to try and sort this one out for Selkirk. Tackle there by Robbie Tweedy for Kelso means that Alderson has to recycle for Selkirk, and McClymonds, the captain, poses a little bit of a dance with his feet and then hits up, and it takes 2 or 3 men from Kelso to bring him down. Comes via the backs towards the far side, and again Ross Nixon's managed to breach the first tackle and then gets brought down, allowing Alderson to recycle back towards the stand side, and Turnbull gets heavily hitted there, and just not really getting anywhere just now, Selkirk, and it's the Polish international's Warjak that hits up the next time. He's had a fair few carries today already. There'll be more of them for sure. That's Westlake now, the new development officer for Selkirk, who hits up. And now the backs have an opportunity, and it comes towards this stand side, and Pickles again, who's already had one great line break, feeds Anderson. Then out towards this side to Welsh, and Murray Hastie was trying to make a tackle, but he slipped, and there was a knock on there by Selkirk, so Kelso will get a wee bit respite. Yeah, a couple of messy line-outs so far, and James better try and rectify that with a decent throw here, and it has been collected by McClymonds, and Alderson now can feed the backs through the hands, and Westlake, the number 8, took that into contact. And again, Alderson quick to try and get the ball into some more carries. Selkirk now working towards that left-hand side as they try and somehow find a way through this Kelso defence. And it's carried through by the forwards. James Bett has a hit. And again, Westlake, he's had a fair few carries already today. He'll be keen to breach the first couple of tackles. Kelso causing a bit of chaos at the breakdown, and Alderson decides to go back towards the far side. Ross Nixon gives it to the backs, and the backs are loving it. Finlay Whelans takes it and gives a wee pop pass on the inside. And as you say, Scott, Selkirk are one that would have liked to have played in dry conditions today because the backs are loving it out there. And again, the forwards are having a couple of hits to try and create some space out wide, and Ross Nixon this time gives it to McClymonds on a brilliant line, but the referee isn't happy. And he seems to think that there was a forward pass there, but the right idea there, Scott.
Yeah, no, and then the referee's in the best position to see that movement. It's a great angle by Scott McClymonds, but just not quite. You can see it almost clicking, and Kelso are just at times clutching at straws and just hanging in there, you know. But they're doing the right thing by frustrating, putting pressure on the player, winning that 50%, getting up in their face.
I'd imagine Kelso will be fairly happy with how things have went so far, given the fact that they are up on the scoreboard and have managed to storm fairly well from Selkirk, and they're the ones with the ball in at the scrum, just on their own 22-metre line. And Frankie Robson again takes the first receiver duties from the scrum, but it's been picked up by Cammy Thompson just on the edge of the breakdown, and he's went himself. Bruce McNeil has then followed him up, and they're making a little bit of ground. Calls for a knock on, but the referee says play on, and Andy Tate feeds Dwayne Patterson. Dwayne Patterson puts a kick in to try and work them a wee bit of territory, and for the first time in a wee while the ball's found itself into the Selkirk half, although Callum Anderson's doing his bit to try and get back into that Kelso's half. And Schwarzak, the Polish international for Selkirk's managed to carry that one into contact and won the penalty, and penalty counts ranking up there for Kelso. Yeah, you can see some similar moves coming from Kelso over the last couple of minutes, and again it's a Selkirk line out. They've had a few of those recently, and again it was missed, so Kelso have a great opportunity through Cammy Brown, who manages to break a couple of defenders, and they're just a couple of metres short now through that miss line out from Selkirk. And Bruce McNeil has a go, and there's an advantage for Kelso, so they've got a free ball here just a couple of metres short, and Frankie Robson puts a pass in, but it doesn't go to hand, and a little bit scrappy, but Archie Barber's managed to get in. He's fairly clean. So Dwayne Patterson has managed to pick up the ball, and again there's still advantage for Kelso, so they'll look to build a platform to launch an attack. And Tate manages to have a bit of a hit. Andy Tate this time puts a little kick over the top to see if there was anything on with the advantage, and there's nothing there, so they'll come back for the penalty. But a wee scrappy there for Selkirk. Scotland has allowed Kelso to get a real attacking platform.
Another untidy line out that went over the top, and Cammy picked it up really well. Cammy Brown, obviously ex-winger, and he's got a wee bit turn of pace, and once they actually Kelso got in behind Selkirk there, they looked pretty dangerous. Obviously they had the advantage as well of the penalty, and it'll be interesting to see where they'll go for post or where they stick it in the corner again. Yeah,
Cammy Brown, who has 3 tries already this season, made that break, and it looks like Kelso are going to a corner, so Dwayne Parsons going to stick this one in the corner, and this could be a huge moment in the game.
Well, they're obviously feeling confident, Kelso. You're right. You know, there won't be that many chances and opportunities like what there is just now here, and Bruce McNeil's obviously running the show, and he's pointing and directing traffic as he's going along here. He feels confident enough to take this driving line out.
Well, the pressure's on James Glendinnin's shoulders here to get a good throw in here, 5 metres short of the Selkirk line. And it does go to hand, and Keith Melbourne was there to grab that one, and now a bit of a drive going on, and Selkirk, you would say, had the upper hand from the first push, but Kelso managed to turn this one round, and they're slowly making their way towards the line and becoming slightly more dominant now. I'm not quite sure who's got the ball at the back, but it's certainly in the hands of Kelso, and they've got the penalty advantage as well. Kelso managed to get a couple of yards gained there, but they've got Kelso had the penalty coming, so they'll get another go at it, and it looks like they're getting ready to take it quickly. Bruce McNeil does take it quickly and tries to catch Selkirk unaware. He's millimetres short the line, but there's hands in there picking it up and dropping it over the line, and I'm not sure exactly who's claiming it, but as you say, Scott, there's not going to be a lot of opportunities, and Bruce McNeil took the call there, and he was obviously confident.
Yeah, well, Bruce he's obviously the head coach here. Bruce took the quick tap penalty. I think it was Grant Shields they got under the ball there to score the try there. A bit good energy, they got themselves into that area, that scoring zone in there, and the tempo just completely lifted with Kelso, which is the right thing to do. Selkirk will be bitterly disappointed, but that was all caused by an overthrow line out away back then, and fair play to Kelso, well played.
Dwayne Patterson strikes the kick to try and make this 10 points to 0.
Yeah.
And it is successful, and that's 2 from 2 today for Dwayne Patterson after 31 minutes, and he'll be very content with striking his first 2 of the day in what could be a game that comes down to kicking, Scott. Just shy of the 22, and Andy Tate recycles to Hasty, who tried to play a little grabber in. It didn't seem to work this time, and there's a bit of a mess on, and Selkirk look to capitalise on this opportunity through Pickles. Again, his little kick through the little stab didn't quite work, and managed to be regathered by Hasty for Kelso. We'll be happy with that after giving the ball away earlier on. And then Tate puts the ball in with their space because Anderson wasn't there to cover, although he is back now just in time for Nick Stingle to put a little bit of a hit on him and try and halt his ground. And Selkirk find themselves on their own 22 with a bit of a messy ball, and players try to get back into position. So the ball's been recycled this time to McClimate, the captain, but Calmy Brown's done a good job of trying to hold him up, and now they've managed to keep the ball through Grant Shields Kelso, so Kelso have managed to make a bit of a break. It's actually number 4 Cammy Thompson who's managed to make that break. He's had a good game so far, and it's into the hands of Terry Logan, who runs a great line, but again just held up short. Andy Tate's digging for the ball, and this time gives it out to Robson. Frankie Robson, the inside centre, out to Murray Hasty, then Dwayne Patterson. There's space on that far side, and it's Archie Barber who's going to go in, utilising that space on the far side, and Kelso have got their tails up, Scott.
Yeah, they have, and what a tremendous carry there by Cammy Thompson, really putting loads of pressure on, and then they recognise, and Murray Hasty recognised there was space out wide, and 2 really good passes, and Archie Barber's in the corner. Really good play by Kelso, excellent carry by Terry Logan there as well, and really Kelso are looking by far, they'll actually look the home team and look by far the better side at the moment. Yeah,
well, Neil Hennigan made comment earlier on in the week that in a border derby that even a home and away fixture doesn't really come into play too much, and I think there'll be a fair Kelso contingent that have made the journey today, and that's the beauty of border derbies, the crowds that you can get. And now Selkirk look to get themselves out of this situation that's cost them what's led to points in recent moments. 37 minutes played here, and they go towards that far side, Selkirk, and Kelso doing a good job just to not let anybody get past that line of defence. A couple of dominant tackles, and McClimate brings it towards this stand side, and Anderson again looking to make up for a couple of errors early on, puts a kick into Archie Barber's hands, but he's off the back of scoring that try, and he puts a nice wee kick in straight down the throat of Aaron McComb, however, and he'll now try and put a better kick in, and probably does so, a nice kick that's going to hopefully for Selkirk go, and that's a clever kick. It's just shy of the try line there.
That's a fantastic 50-22, and it gives Selkirk the possession for this line out, and that's what I mean by playing in the right areas of the field. Suddenly Selkirk has opportunities to play a wee bit kick tennis, and then somebody like with an ounce and the desire like Aaron McComb to stick it in that bottom corner.
With just a minute left to play, give or take, for some injury time. 2 or 3 metres short of the line on this stand side. Alderson gives out, and they're going to go through the forwards, certainly through that first phase. And again, it looks like a pick and go opportunity, and it's Westlake who takes it at the back of the breakdown. Going to go in more sideways than their forwards at the moment, Selkirk, but it's all counting towards something. They'll look to try and exploit some space. They've got the advantage, so they'll be happy with that, but can they get a quick fire try before half time? There is a penalty coming, and Luke Petty has it at the back of the breakdown. Clever play out in the hands of the backs, but Aaron McComb knocks it on. But there was an advantage there, so they'll come back for the penalty, and there's almost a try tinkering there, Scott.
Oh, there was a try, definitely an opportunity to score a try there. Maybe not so much for Aaron McComb, but certainly put somebody else away. And good defence by Kelso. They're fronting up really, really well. They probably understand that time is up in 40 minutes, and it looks like it'll be a penalty. So it'll be interesting to see what Selkirk want to do just before the half-time break.
There's been a yellow card for Murray Hasty. I'm not entirely sure what that was for, but Kelso will have to see out the rest of this half and a chunk of the second half with a man fewer than their opposition Selkirk, and this could be a great opportunity for Selkirk to really get some points on the board before half time, Scott.
Yeah, without a doubt, it's all about detail, making sure this line-out's good. Murray Hastie obviously not a happy camper at all with getting yellow carded, but huge opportunity for Selkirk to get back in the game.
James Bett throws it in, and although it was a bit scrappy to begin with, it was Schwarzak that's managed to recuperate the ball, and there will still be the attacking platform here for Selkirk, although the line-out was misfired. And it was Westlake, the number 8, who has a carry. He's done his fair share of carrying so far, 2 or 3 metres short of the line. And this time Luke Petty has a go himself. And again, there's a couple of quick pick and goes by the forwards who are all huddling around that ball, but Kelso doing a good enough job so far to stop anybody breaching that line and getting over the line. It's now just a case of getting over the ball, but it looks like there's been a turnover, although there has been a penalty given to Selkirk. And so no points as of yet, but Selkirk still just keep kind of pushing away at it, Scott.
These penalties that Kelso are giving away are crucial now. The referee must be thinking about putting his hand in his pocket again.
Luke Petty looks like he's going to tap this one, and that's going to be the route for this one, and it is Luke Petty who goes. There seems to be a knock on, and that's probably to do with the conditions, and there's a lot of shaking heads by Selkirk, but joys of belief from Kelso, and that'll be the half-time whistle, and that could be a huge turning point, Scott.
Yeah, and just look at the energy the Kelso boys run into the field and the Selkirk boys walking. The massive lift to Kelso there, and really showing their worth and really showing their desire and want to win this game of rugby of the day. I mean, you can't hear anything from the Selkirk supporters and crowd. They've had nothing really to shout about, and it's the Kelso supporters that are getting behind their team at the moment.
Yes, a lot of territory for the team, but for the home team, but unfortunately territory doesn't always convert into points, and on this occasion it's the visitors Kelso who have a 15-0 lead at half time. Alderson will then pass it out to James Bett at hooker. So still Selkirk ball as the edge closer to that 22, and Schwarzak hits up and recycles. He's done a bulk load of carrying today for the hosts, and now Nixon sees a bit of space and can attack, and then gives the pass to Anderson, but again a knock on from Anderson, which has happened 2 or 3 times today. And although Dwayne Patterson was there to gather it, they will come back for that knock on, and that's maybe been an issue for Anderson as an individual, was maybe a couple of knock ons, but that can only be expected in these conditions. Plenty of experience in the likes of Bruce McNeil, and he'll have played in plenty of games that have went in this kind of muddy fashion. And the line out from James Glendinning hit his man. Calmy Brown took it well, and it's been well performed into a driving maul, and Ian Herd watches that touchline, but Kelso have kept it well inside, and Frankie Robson received that one. Remember, Kelso are playing without Murray Hastie for another couple of minutes, and they've won the penalty, so they've managed to get out of this one fairly easily. And Bruce McNeil's having a bit of a pop at Westlake, the number 8 for Selkirk. And
I think what we're seeing now is Kelso's trying to slow the clock down and controlling the game really, really well, and that's frustrating Selkirk. Selkirk will be looking to try and get a really good start to that second half, and that's frustrating them. And Westlake done a couple of silly little things there that has cost points, and now cost Kelso to be down inside the Selkirk 22.
They'll have a chance to attack just inside the Selkirk half, and again Calmy Brown takes it down well, and again that driving maul's set up, so a repeated performance, and Glendinning has it at the back as the vocal crowd here in the Philiphaugh stand try and get behind the home side and try and see how their defence holds up here, but that driving maul is still performing well, and although it's broken into a single man run, it's Keith Melbourne who's hit up, and that's a great bit of ground bought by Kelso, who make ventures. Remember, they're a man down, and Dwayne Patterson sticks a little kick into where there's a lot of space, and it just holds up short of the try line, so Kelso will have to try and make ends meet here. And I think Anderson again found himself with a bit of a job to do, and it has been carried back, so Anderson not having an easy game, and an opportunity for Kelso to build up more of an attacking momentum. And Keith Melbourne takes it in at the line out, and the maul is formed, so Kelso have safe ball, and it's Bruce McNeil again who takes charge and says no, I'm going to run with this, and does get through a couple of the first defenders, and now they've got a bit of a momentum. And Murray Hastie freshly back on the pitch following his sin bin, gives it to Patterson to Barber towards the stand side, and Stingle has a bit of a dance and tries to get past defenders, but is eventually brought down. Calls for a knock on there by Andy Tate, but he's managed to play with that safely in his hands, and Ashton Asante has his third or fourth carry of the afternoon, the replacement prop, as Kelso try and recycle this ball. Come back towards the stand side, and Patterson dances with the dancing feet, eventually gets brought down by the Selkirk captain McClyman, and Andy Tate recycles, and again Ashton Asante back on the ball. You remember he carried just a few phases ago, so he's obviously keen. Then Murray Hastie, who tried something special there, didn't quite work, and Selkirk could try and attack this through McClyman. McClyman's got the ball, Kelso on the back foot, and McClyman eventually gets brought down, but Selkirk have the ball in hand, and although Dwayne Patterson had a hand in there, and it'll be interesting to see what happens here, because Patterson used that to his advantage to try and buy some time there, Scum.
Yeah, to be fair to Patterson, that ball was lifted though, to be fair. He was quite entitled to go for that ball.
He played the ball in the hand at the same time. It's a penalty, it's a yellow card. They're on the attack.
Scott, would you make of that as a referee?
To be fair, he came through the middle, and I thought the ball had been lifted by then. There is a penalty there for impeding the scrum half in a situation where Selkirk had the ascendancy as well. So I think he'll be pretty disappointed when he understood what he was trying to do, though. Well,
only a couple of minutes after they were brought up to full strength following Murray Hastie's yellow card, they're now back down to 14. But remember, they have got that 15-0 lead, so they know that they can handle 10 minutes with a man less, so they'll be looking to use that as a bit of confidence.
Yeah, I think they'll be disappointed because they were in a situation there just in front of the post in the Selkirk 22 where if they just kept the ball and keep plugging away, maybe even a 3 points would have came. Whereas now Selkirk's now on the 10-metre line there. They've brought Andrew Grant Sutty back on the field, who looks as if he's playing centre, who's got to give him a wee bit more go forward, I would say, which is probably something that should have happened at the start of the second half.
Yeah, Grant Sutty will add a great bit of ball knowledge into this Selkirk team as they try to find a way back into this game. And at the moment it is Selkirk who have it just outside the Kelso 22, so they'll look to try and get some points from this attack, but that ball's been spilled. Selkirk then with a line out on the Kelso 5-metre line with an extra man, and McClyman takes it well, and this has been well worked, but Westlake's going to take a hit. That's Kieran Westlake on his third appearance, but again things haven't quite went right for Selkirk when they've got in these final stages, and a knock on there. Andy Tate, 5 metres from his own try line, is going to try and orchestrate some sort of attack from this. Remember, they have a man shorter than Selkirk despite having a 15-0 lead. Bruce McNeil, as he has done a few times this afternoon, takes it in his own hands at the back of the scrum and has a bit of a run and does get past the first defender, and it's been recycled and heat to foot in mud. The Kelso players will now try and clear their lines. Andy Tate digs for that ball with his left boot, plants a foot and then puts in a box kick, and Finlay Whelan was trying to get to the end of that, but instead thought, no, I'm going to just hit the first man, and then did hit Nick Stingle after he took that ball, and the kicks went in down the throat of Pickles, and Pickles dances around the first man, then puts a little chip over the top. He won't get to it, that'll be down to Nick Stingle, but now Aaron McComb has it with a bit of space, and then Grant Sutty on that far side. Grant Sutty off the bench to inject some life into the Selkirk backline. Remember, they have got an extra man due to Dwayne Patterson's yellow card. Selkirk trying to get something from this next attack, but again they've conceded a penalty here, and it's just things just aren't quite going to plan for Selkirk.
No, Selkirk are playing a lovely open game of rugby where you're looking for offloads, and then you have to look after the ball. You know, I don't know who took that ball into contact just now, but he didn't fall on the ball. He went to present, and Kelso were right over the top of it and won the jackal. I mean, just simple stuff.
After winning their own line out just inside the Kelso half, and they make decent ground here with a driver maul. They've definitely got their ears pricked. And now they'll take it to ground and try and recycle, and Andy Tate with a hand in the air calling the shots for his backs to get organised, but first it'll go through the forwards, and that was Angus Common who hit up, and now Keith Melbourne, who's done a bulk load of carrying so far today, has another run, tries for offside, but Kelso will still recycle it, and Robson will have a go at the captain. Doesn't really make any ground, but there is a bit of space on that far side, and Calmy Brown, who's had a great game, dances through the first man before slipping and coming to ground. But Andy Tate quickly recycles, and it's the prop Grant Shiels who got the first try. He's working his way towards the line, and Kelso are definitely on the front foot here. There's space on this far side, and Nick Stingle's got his hand in the air, but at the moment they're going through the forwards. Euan Knox, fresh off the bench, has his first carry. but doesn't really get anywhere, and instead it'll be recycled, and Andy Tate will give it to Hasty. Hasty will then give it out to Tweedy. Tweedy's brought down. Grant City's brought him down, but it'll be recycled again, and Andy Tate, quick with the hands, gives it out to Hasty. The looping pass out to Stingle. Can Stingle dance his way to the try line? He's certainly over, but can he get the ball down? It's been held up on this occasion for Selkirk, just outside the Kelso 22. And the throws a bit of a misfire, but it's been alright. It's been collected by Selkirk, so they will have the platform to launch an attack here. And despite Selkirk's best efforts, Cammy Brown's had a great effort for Kelso and turned it over, so he's had a great game, and Andy Tate's done well to quickly put a kick over the top of the heads. The winger for Selkirk, and although it has went into touch actually, so
it's a great kick by Andy Tate, really clever, great turnover by Cammy Brown again, and then Andy Tate had the sense, knowing that the Selkirk back division were really going to attack, to stick it over the top of them. And that's been the key moments for me just now. There's been some senior players in the Kelso ranks there that just have known exactly what to do at the right time, and that was one of those moments.
Yeah, Neil Hinnigan did say that there was a bit extra on the line in this one due to losing that game at point during the dying moments to last them out, but you can just tell that they're so keen to see this one out, and they do have that 15 points to 0 lead as the ball is thrown in by Bruce Riddle for Selkirk on their own 22 metre line, and desperate to try and get some territory further up the pitch and try and get some tries, because that's what's going to be needed as we head into the last 20 minutes of this one. The ball's right down the throat of Nick Stingle for Kelso on the halfway line as Euan Knox tries to get in to try and secure that ball for Kelso, and now Andy Tate is there, planted his foot in, so the ball is secure. And they're having a bit of a pop at the referee, Selkirk. They're trying as much as they can.
Yeah.
But it's Kelso who have the ball recycled, and Bruce McNeil's there, and he's had a great game in terms of orchestrating how things are working and having some really good calls on what to do when. And Andy Tate will now, with 3 or 4 bodies of protection, will now have a go himself and puts that boot to ball. And it's down the throat of the full-back for Selkirk, Callum Anderson, who has had a better second half in terms of errors. He's managed to secure ball for Selkirk as they just outside their own 22 metre line try and secure some ball for a period of time, or work out how they can get further up the half. But on this occasion it's the experienced Ross Nixon who has a bit of a knock-on error there, and things just not quite going to plan, especially for the senior players at Selkirk.
No, listen, it's all about pressure, and Kelso getting up in their face and shutting their space down, and really got high energy in defence to put the Selkirk team under pressure. What I've just wrote, that's 8 times now there's been overthrow lineouts today, and you just cannot win games of rugby, especially in conditions like this, if you can't control your own lineout ball and your scrum ball.
Kelso now have managed to use Dwayne Patterson's boot to get much further up the pitch, and they now find themselves just outside the Selkirk 22 with the ball in hand, and Euan Knox's throw into the line out was first slipped through the hands by 2 Kelso players, I think, but it's been regathered by that man that you were on about, Scott Bruce McNeil, and he's managed to regain a bit of composure and give it to Keith Melbourne, another player who's had a standout game, and he fends off the first 2 defenders and then gets brought down to ground, but they've got the advantage for the high tackle, and Andy Tate knows that, so he'll give the ball out to try and get a bit of an advantage, and now it's been quickly recycled, and Dwayne Patterson, who also knows there's an advantage, the stand side through Tweedy and then to Nick Stingle, and Stingle slid in, and it looked like he might have been in touch, but Ian Hurd said that it was fine, and that you would think would be the end of that, Scott.
What a fantastic try, a great tidy up at the back of the ruck by McNeil, and then Melbourne made a really excellent angled run. But then the nous and the cleverness by the Kelso Park division, and I think it was actually Tweedy coming off his wing. I mean, he straightened up and then gave to Stingle, and Stingle was a really good finish. He still had a lot of work to do, but he almost dived in the corner like a little mouse, didn't he, to score that winning try. Well done.
It's been a nice sliding try there for Nick Stingle, who also can play scrum half, so he's had a good game on the wing. Selkirk have managed to misplace the ball, and it's fell into the hands of Dwayne Patterson, who's then fed the man outside him, and Robbie Tweedy will hair down that far side, and he will get brought down eventually, but suddenly Kelso have the attacking platform just outside the Selkirk 22, and Andy Tate will recycle to Euan Knox, then to Patterson, and Patterson puts boot to ball with a crossfield kick in these conditions. Shows how much confidence they've got, and Cammy Brown, although he's had an outstanding game, just failed to gather that one on what would have been an unlikely try there, Scott.
Oh, yeah, it was a beautiful kick by Dwayne Patterson. I mean, Kelso have really got their danders up, and Cammy just needed the easy football skills purposely. No wonder he's smiling there. Just the football skills would have got him over the line, and he tried to pick it up in conditions like this, just hoof it.
Euan Thompson for Kelso's came on. He's replaced Keith Melbourne, who's had a great game himself. made a couple of great huge line breaks in the build up to tries and attacking platforms, so I'm sure he'll be happy with his performance today as Euan Thompson comes on for him in the second row. Selkirk with a scrum on their own 5 metre line due to that knock on, but Kelso have won the penalty, and Scott, the reaction of that with a penalty there, with a, you know, you'd say they've won the game 20 points to nil, but the reaction of that penalty just shows how much they're committed to this.
Yeah, they're in total control of the situation here, and I think you know, the 50 points be mar and now 20 points at the moment is certainly hurting Selkirk, you know, and they've went completely into their shell. They thoroughly deserve the 20 points at present, and it would not surprise us again if they clinch a bonus point.
Yes, Dwayne Patterson's knocked this one into the corner, and Euan Knox will now have to throw it in the line out 5 metres short of the try line. It's been turned over by Selkirk in the line out, so that Selkirk will have a chance to clear their lines. Kelso lining up to try and charge this one down as Alderson takes it at the back of the breakdown. Bullies were in the way, but he's managed to clear his line successfully.
By all accounts, Kelso will be looking to try and get that bonus point try now. They'll be really pushing to try anyway, by hook or by crook, but try and getting this try here at the end and really finish off a fantastic day of rugby for Kelso Rugby Club.
Yeah, 3 tries looking for their 4th, and they're a short drive short. They're just 4 metres short of the try line, and at the back they've got the advantage as well, so Kelso will be really looking forward to hopefully getting a try out of this, and it looks like they're just short as 30 bodies hurry around, but it looks like the arms are aloft, and Kelso with a bonus point win with time almost up here, and again there's a few hands looking for it. I think one of them is Euan Thompson. He seems pretty confident that he was the one with the ball there. Bruce McNeil's also head to foot in mud but smiling, and you can see his white teeth, the only thing that's showing there, Scott. But a bonus point victory for Kelso. You know, Neil Hennigan spoke how important this was during the week in terms of off the back of the return leg, and this is huge for Kelso. Dwayne Parsons lining his kick up. This will be the last play of the game. He has a stab at it. This will see to 27 points. And on this occasion, that kind of sums the day up. The flags are aloft. Keith Melbourne's dancing about the Philiphaugh pitch, and the hands are getting shaken. Kelso will be buzzing for this win. 27 points to nil. They're going home, and Scott, I mean, that's 27-0 in a border derby. Selkirk are going to be pretty dejected after that.
Yeah, well, but listen, let's not take anything away from Kelso. They have played really, really well today. They've played with a mannerism that befits of how they've been competing in the first division this year. Great play for Kelso. Really, really, really pleased and happy for them. And it's great to see somebody like Kev Utterson get the rewards for the coaching.
And that kind of rounds off the game today. And Kelso 27 points to nil. The visitors here to Philiphaugh, and they've been convincing winners.
So after a rather muddy match, I hope the players are away to get a good shower. It was Kelso that came home with the win, 27-0. Next week we're off to Hawthorne for last raid against Peebles. Hope you can join us then. But for now, from everyone at Philiphaugh, cheerio.